like, well, all right, I'm gonna take over and I'm gonna get you out of there, but we're gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
Dot dot dot.
Yeah.
And then the doors close as the other guy is trying to get out.
Yeah.
So technically, he did a Christian Bale Batman, but not
Yeah,
really
I'd
because
have
she
to
was in
kill
control of
you,
it.
but I don't have to save you. Yeah. Which I don't see her doing anything wrong here. Three, two, one, and hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Trip Around the Multiverse with your host, the man who is the ruler of the afterlife, but is originally from Staines, Carl Charles, and
The man who wears the hood from the hood, and is called the Hood, D.Y. Chung.
And today, in this brand spanking new episode, we are going to be reviewing. Apparently, this is the conclusion of Phase 5. I didn't know that until I saw something about it. And another Disney original Marvel TV show in Ironheart with the character Riri Williams and other characters. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not spoilers though.
Yeah, not
It's not a bad
spoilers.
show.
No.
About 40 minutes an episode, I think.
Yeah, I think there's only like one that's an hour, and the rest are 40. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, as an Iron Man Legacy character, right?
Yeah.
Would logically speaking, would you have picked for if we're gonna be Iron Man but not Iron Man, why isn't it a War Machine series? I'm not arguing against the series, by the way. I'm just saying if you're going from that direction, if there was a War Machine series, I'd be like, okay, fine, and then makes sense. But I think they're doing Armor Wars.
Yeah.
And then as a if not War Machine, Jim Rhodes.
Yeah.
Then the kid from Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
As far as it makes sense in the MCU.
It does and doesn't.
Yeah.
For them to use that kid, but
yeah. But then I was like, okay, so Ironheart exists in comics.
Yeah.
Right. But it's just a bit random because she has no connection. This character has no connection to Tony Stark whatsoever.
That's like that's the weird thing I thought between comic version and her and MCU version, because in the comic version she doesn't at first, but then she gets his AI, and then that's how they build their relationship, and they got a relationship now. But in this, because in MCU, because they introduced her in Wakanda Forever, it's kind of like
it's one of those things where like okay, let's just say in Iron Man 3, instead of having the kid Harley, the white kid Harley, right? If it was young Riri Williams, and then they thought that far ahead that when they do this series, then I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. But then it's like how they did it in Iron Man 2, with the little kid with the mask.
Oh yeah.
And he holds up his hand for a repulsor, and apparently it's Peter Parker, even though they didn't have the rights to.
No, he was in the that one was like,
but at least you go like, all right, fine, whatever. It sense if you're saying it right, because that's why he accepted the Iron Man side in Civil War.
Yeah. It's a bit of a reach, but
I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was like,
all right,
That was one of those situations where they locked into.
Yeah. No, I mean, like in this Ironheart, I was like, okay, bit random, but
like in this, the only sort of connection they have is that she was a part of the Stark Fund or whatever at MIT. Yeah. So I was like, okay, that's a loose way of having a connection, but not at the same time. But then they kind of wrap it around, like, okay, I get it. Yeah. Because like when they kind of explained why, I thought, oh, okay, that makes sense to me now. Okay.
Yeah, I just don't. It's like it's called Ironheart. But the thing is, if it was called something else that wasn't directly so connected to Iron Man, I think it'd have been a bit more fine. I know in the comics she's called Ironheart, right? So you can't really change that.
Yeah.
But then you think it's like, okay, when you got Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and you got Miles Morales, and you're like, okay, they got similar power, but one's a legacy character, but
good,
there's a connection.
Yeah.
Here, just like, all right.
But I kind of can't blame him because they killed Tony off in the movie. So it's that sort of
Exactly. I think it's just an awkward because she's got more connection to Black Panther than.
But even then, when you think about it, she doesn't really have a connection to Black Panther because like it's gonna sound like I like Wakanda Forever. I've only seen it once, but I liked it. But her inclusion felt kind of like forced. It's kind of like Civil War. I felt Spider-Man's inclusion felt kind of like forced. Like, why? It's just how like I feel that's a weird way they introduce like teen characters into these films, into the MCU, because they sort of do the same thing with Hawkeye, but her one worked for a reason. That worked to me. That's the only
she
one that
was
works.
If she wasn't the lead, she was definitely the secondary lead.
Yeah, but like her them kind of not showing her on in, but her introduction made more sense. But this one, it feels like you're a teenager, get in here. It's kind of the same with like Wiccan in Agatha All Along. Kind of like.
But I think that's slightly different.
Slightly different because he's introduced in WandaVision. Yes, okay, that's a bad example.
And he's a cool character in this as well.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. I feel like they have like the MCU have a problem like introducing teen characters.
Also, as well, sometimes in the MCU, you get things that aren't comic book accurate. Yeah, like okay, if Iron Man created Ultron, and you're like, all right, okay, I can see that.
Makes more sense when you think about it long run. Yeah.
But then sometimes you get random decisions that don't make sense, and you're like,
huh? Yeah, because like as much as I like the Guardian Galaxy, some of that I'm like that doesn't like Mantis being Star-Lord's sister, like. That came out from nowhere, but okay.
Yeah. And Ego being Star-Lord's dad, but you're like, okay.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so that's like...
I mean, you're going to be using Ego anyways,
so
whatever. You
kind of made sense to a stupid character to say, yeah, okay. But yeah, that's the only thing I would say the bad thing... Not bad thing, but a problem they have.
Yeah. Also, it was also... So Tony Stark, by the time we last saw him, he's using nanotech. A lot of these Marvel heroes are using nanotech.
Yeah.
Right? So Ironheart, Riri Williams is like a generation behind.
Yeah.
Because she's still actually robot tech.
But it's one of those things, like, I also feel like the MCU kind of forget that they've invented nanotechnology, you know?
Well, it's an awkward thing because I wouldn't want everyone to have nanotech.
Yeah, because it gets easy right out.
Iron Man, fine, I can accept that. The Wakandans, fine, I accept that.
Yeah.
Ant-Man, also fine because he deals with technology that's at a certain size.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But when when everyone's got nanotech, like Spider-Man and stuff like, you're like, but yeah. Then what's this big bulky machine costume that Riri Williams has to wear? What's the
But I think they kind of.
It makes it look. Go on, sorry.
Like I think they kind of realized the problem with nanotech stuff in the film. That's why when you see, like at the end of No Way Home, where Spider-Man's gone back to a more traditional actual costume rather than I press a button, the suit comes out of nowhere, sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think as well sometimes they don't lock down the design of whatever costume they're gonna have until a bit too late in production.
Yeah.
And then they use CG to readjust it. But then it's like, well, no, but the physical costumes are cool.
Yeah. They're awesome. Yeah.
But the shortcutting, just like saying, it makes everyone else seem they're too far behind in the actual tech.
Yeah.
In their world.
Yeah. Because like this is on subject, but not on subject. Like like going towards like practical stuff. I only found out today, right? You know, Colossus in X-Men 3.
Yeah.
And that's practical.
Yeah.
I only found out today. He's practical. I didn't know that. I thought CGI.
Yeah. So they CGI'd him in X-Men 2.
Yeah.
Right. And then aside from the bits where he's shifting
from
metal to thingamajig to human. Yeah, in X-Men 3, I think they just kind of clipped on the metal parts.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, it's like nearly 20 years, and I just found out today. Wow. So so sometimes it's I like you said, practical suits are cool. I like them. But let's back to this series.
Yeah, but I did enjoy the series. I thought it was pretty fun. I thought it's like a smaller scale sort of thing. I did like. There's some things that they I thought they were going to do in Iron Man.
Yeah.
Right, but they never actually touched upon any of that.
Yeah.
And they do some of that in this, and if this heads in that direction, aka I want not the Mandarin per se, but technology versus magic, stuff like that.
They actually touched upon it, which
it'd be cool to because now I'm not saying obviously they can pull in the Mandarin with his magic ring, like that, because that's a bit. Apparently, one moves the Mandarin, but not really. Also, kind of.
Yeah.
So unless they actually get someone that's called the Mandarin, to be the actual Mandarin, even though in Iron Man 3 they also kind of covered that.
Yeah, I am the Mandarin.
Yeah. So when they have a proper Mandarin, they would have to be like, all right, okay.
Yeah, you're the third person. Okay, sure, all right.
Well, they already used the 10 rings as well as the bracelet thing. So
which made small. I don't know. I like that choice and still feel a bit funny by it, but yeah.
It's a bit wacky how Shang-Chi's now got relation to the Mandarin, but not really.
Yeah.
Even though the 10 rings are nothing to do with Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
In the comics, but
hey,
it'd be worse if they used Fu Manchu. Well, I don't know if it'd be worse but they can't because of license.
You can't. Yeah. You can't get past that now. I liked, and I like the cast, like her friend circle and stuff like that, and even the villains. Well, the villain and his sort of henchman. I didn't mind them.
Associates, right?
The associates, yeah. And I liked how they did the hood. I was like, okay.
Yeah. And I thought it was going to be related to Cloak and Dagger. I guess you did as well, to some degree. And then I was like, but if the guys from Cloak and Dagger TV series make an appearance, that'd be something, right?
Yeah, that'd be so random. Like, not many people know you exist.
yeah. I thought they were bringing it back. I was like, okay,
that's what I thought.
All right.
But
no, it's got nothing to do with Cloak. And I was like,
okay.
You know what? Yeah, I was kind of disappointed because I thought they were kind of heading in that direction. Even if they didn't get the actor back, they'd just be like, mention something.
Yeah.
But they decided not to.
Yeah, I think they're waiting a couple more years. People actually forget and then kind of like reboot them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe. No, technically they are part of the MCU. Okay, technically the Runaways are also part of the MCU, and also Damien Hellstrom.
Yeah.
Son of Satan, but no one watched that TV series.
Yeah. So yeah.
But then also no one watched the Inhumans, and Black Bolt was in Doctor Strange.
But how they got in that because he's an alternate universe version, so you're like, okay, okay, sure.
Yeah. But no, I enjoyed the series overall. It was a different look at the perspectives. Of Iron Man, rich white guy, right?
Yeah.
Riri Williams is not.
Yeah. And
so,
it was one thing, like, I keep seeing on the internet, and you could tell no one watched it, right? Yeah. But they just saw a clip and then started going from it and didn't watch the clip fully. Because in this whole show, did she ever like slag off Tony Stark or anything? All she only said was, he had money, I don't, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
But there's some weird discourse, people saying like, "Oh, this show is all she's doing is bad mouthing Tony Stark." She says one thing.
Yeah. See, now here's the thing, right? I think people start. It's probably a combination of things, but like you got the your Tony Stark film Tony Stark fans. Because, comic Tony Stark is a different beast.
Different completely. Yeah.
But yeah, so he sacrificed his life for the rest of the world.
Yeah.
How can you little punk girl say anything? It's like no, he's not. What they did were like Batwoman did it way worse.
Yeah.
Look, first of all, I don't think here they intended it like that.
No.
Just like there's a stark difference. Well, I say stark.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a big difference between the world he's coming from and the world she's coming from.
Yeah.
So she can't do certain things that he can, right?
Yeah.
Or she's got her intelligence, right?
Yeah, but she hasn't got the financial backing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whereas in Batwoman, there's a lot of feminist messages.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That go a bit too far.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I think I told you before, right?
Yeah.
There's the like, not to say because we like, it's the thing of how they market it, where they think where certain people who are backing it are probably thinking, oh yeah, this is what we want to portray to get this group of people watching.
Yeah.
Except that then you alienate the other side. Watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. And mostly it's Batwoman. It's comic book related, right?
Yeah.
So you get a comic book fan, but then when you're just saying when you're something like where she's looking at the bat suit and Fox, not Lucius, but his nephew. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Saying, oh, yeah, that suit is literal perfection, right?
Yeah.
And then you got Riri Rose smirking to the camera when she turns to the side, right? I'm not blaming her. I'm just saying.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And she goes, "That it will be perfect when it fits a woman." Like, okay, you did not.
Yeah. Do you need to do that?
It will be perfect when it fits me. That makes sense because then it needs to. Well, she needs to wear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it actually that's in the adverts, right?
Yeah.
In the actual thing, it just it cuts before she says anything.
Oh yeah, so they've kind of cut off their face already before even seeing the show because you're gonna, like you said, a lot of people are gonna see that advert and it's like, feminism. Yeah,
exactly. And I'm like, I mean, look, fair enough. If you waited to record those lines and stuff like that, right? You maybe think better of it if you. Most of the people watching are probably comic book fans that are guys, right?
Yeah.
So then you kind of like, yeah. And then Batman fans kind of, but they can't get a Batman TV series, so you kind of.
Yeah. So they might be drawing like, it's Batman related, I'm watching, and as soon as you see that, like, no, I don't want to watch this now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you get the people where say, oh yeah, she's slating Batman and stuff like that. Well, she didn't really.
No. The advert made her say that, but she didn't say it. Oh. And
so but what they intended. In this, when she said that, she's just making a point. She's just making a point. It's not exactly. She's not attacking no one.
No. She's basically saying the sky is blue. That's all she's basically saying. Like.
Yeah.
But apparently she said no. The sky is red and we hate men. They're like, wait. How'd you get from there to there? That doesn't.
I think some people make quite big leaps in their conclusions. To fit whatever their, I want to say agenda, but their narrative is. And But though if so, like you were saying before about Agatha all along, right?
Yeah.
It's got the Wiccan who's a gay teenager, right?
Yeah.
If people like, it doesn't affect me or you or anything like that. It just I would say actually it's part of the they wrote it into part of the story as well.
Yeah.
Where, in here is also they've got the very effeminate man. I forgot the character's name.
Oh, Slug.
He's got green makeup and everything like that.
Slug.
Yeah.
Slug. Yeah.
I'm like, all right, okay. I mean, there's diverse people in that part of America.
Yeah. So it's like, okay.
Yeah. In fact, would it be okay? So where she is, right? And there's a lot of black people in that area, right?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I'll point it out, right?
Yeah.
But it probably does. So when Friends is happening,
and
all the cast is white, right? I'm not, by the way, saying that. And but in a friend group, I think it would have more diversity now. If they were to they wouldn't just cast everyone. That's all.
Yeah.
However, they did the same in How I Met Your Mother, where they all white as well.
Yeah.
Like, hold on a second.
Which then, when they did How I Met Your Father, because I think that was only like say 3 or 4 years ago, we say, it was like more ethnical. Like, there's a black guy and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, times have changed.
I think groups would not only be more ethnically diverse, but more.
I get you. What's the word?
Diverse.
I can't remember the actual word, but
twice.
Yeah. But you're like, there'll be gay people, whatever. Yeah, it'll be more like that. Yeah, because we live in now. Yeah.
Funny enough, actually, randomly, but I'm gonna come. So we're gonna get back to this, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever played the game Catherine?
No, but I own it. I know the whole story, but I haven't.
Game, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna make the blocks and move the blocks, anyways.
Yeah.
So Vincent is the main character.
Yeah.
And he's talking to his friend group in the cafe. Like, I actually thought there was going to be more story parts of it, but no, the main bulk of the game is when he goes into the dream world, and then you have to move the blocks to get to the top.
Yeah.
And then you wake up each night. You wake. That's during the night, and then you wake up during the daytime, and then you talk to your friends in the cafe again. I thought there was going to be more like a storyline. Like I thought the game.
Yeah.
Puzzle block thing was happening at night, and then there's a story throughout the game.
Yeah.
During the waking day. Anyways.
Yeah.
One of his. When did this game come out? 2007, I think it was.
No, I think it's late. I think it's like 2009 or something.
Okay. Well, one of the friend, like there's the waitress working in the cafe or wherever they were.
Yeah.
Right. The pub.
Yeah.
And she used to be one of their guy friends.
Yeah. So I remember that was like controversial back then. Like,
yeah. And then they did a remake where, because there's two Catherines, Catherine with a K, Catherine with a C.
Yeah.
And then there's in what would they call it? Can't remember. They remade it. No, they remade it, but they made a third edition.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
I want to say Catherine third form, but I don't think so. I'm thinking of Freezer probably.
Yeah.
And there's a third character in there that is I think she's a demon. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but young looking demon girl.
Yeah.
Who also has other parts.
Oh. Okay.
And then if Vincent decides to get, if you have the character Vincent decide to get with her, then you know.
Okay. That's very progressive. Game
but I was like, oh, you know, this game is something, man. I did not expect.
No.
Yeah.
Wow. Good on them.
I expected a game where it's a temptress trying to get you to separate from your girl.
Yeah.
Even though she's like, there's something wacky going on there.
Yeah.
But no, there's another something else on the side of it, in the re-release edition or whatever it is, and you're like, okay, all right.
Check that. Okay. Huh.
That's something.
Yeah.
By the way, it's a good game. I think you should play it.
Yeah, because I've got it.
I enjoyed it.
I got the physical copy and the digital copy as well, so I actually need to play it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got the original edition. You didn't get the
I think it's the original one. I need to double check. I think it's the original one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you like puzzle games like that, then
it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's a bit random to the side, right? Should we get to spoilers?
Yeah, we're getting spoilers. Yeah.
Yes, and we're gonna skip about as well.
Yeah.
But in the first episode or something, you know, when they show off the Hood's team and everything like that, and you got the parkour tag team cohorts,
the blood siblings,
the security guards.
Yeah.
Sorry?
The blood siblings they're called, I think. Yeah.
Whatever they're called, right?
Yeah.
Beating up security guards, making them look like chumps, right?
Yep.
And they got weapons and batons, right? No, security guards I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And these people were just like these teens, I want to say mid-20s or whatever, just laughing at them, pie facing them, and slamming them down and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, fair enough, because you're showing this. Like, first of all, not everyone can be the elite of every force in the world, right?
Yeah.
So they're gonna be people that are better than you at specific things, except that in certain movies, you're the elite of the elite. So
yeah, the elite of the elite.
Even though there's a SWAT team, sometimes that they're like. You see SHIELD agents get taken down, and then you see someone like what's it called? What's that dude from Agents of SHIELD? Not Coulson, the other guy, Ward.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Trick.
And he's even more elite than It's just like
well,
you know what I mean? Anyways, and then later on when these guys are trying to look for they find Riri in the White Castle, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they're finding a Billy Jesus that's completely tanked.
Yeah. I thought, but you know what? I kind of respect them within this show, right? Riri's five videos did not like, all of a sudden, like, she could do Kung Fu and stuff. She literally was like trying to like get away with her life. It's like, but you guys,
I'm fine with how she was fighting.
Yeah,
she should have got battered more. But the thing is, logically speaking, I think they should have had her be armed to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Not necessarily with Ironheart armor or whatever, like just like small little things that, because if you think you're getting hunted by these people, you're gonna have a little bit of security with you.
Yeah.
Homemade tech, for example, yeah. And if she used that to even the field, I'd be like, all right, fine. No, but what she somehow did with the power of script writing was just tank their abilities by peripheral.
Yeah. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, I don't get it. She should have. But I did like the bit where she dropped her watch and then she was like, okay, I'm done for. You guys make it quick, just shoot me, right? And then they trapped in the bubble and then pushed them away, right? The protective AI, whatever. Yeah, and I'm like, smart. See, that's smart. Yeah, right? That makes sense.
I did like as well.
Your 5 minutes before that doesn't.
Like there's bits when she was fighting the girl with the bombs. That fight made more sense to me because she was just finding stuff to sort of like just keep distance.
So I will say, I reckon that that compressed tank. Hitting that woman probably would have killed her. Caved in her chest.
Yeah, that would have killed her. Yeah, that would have legit killed her.
With Riri, I'm gonna guess she looked at the gauge and saw how much pressure was in the chamber.
See, and how could they've like perceived her as a very smart person? You can, like, she would do that, like, because she's an engineer and stuff. If it was someone else, like, stupid.
I did say
that
when the bomb lady dropped the bomb, not Fat Man, right?
Fat Man. Yeah.
And I can't say fat woman because that lady's not fat, so I can't just transfer the title over and just call it a female version, right? the bomb lady then, whatever. And when she got hit, she dropped the bomb, and I thought, okay, she's done for.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna blow herself
up. yeah. Because I was like, oh, convenient that Riri's gonna get. That's how she gets away because she, No, she just jumps to the side somehow.
Yeah.
Managed to get away from her bomb before it explodes.
Yeah, which was like, oh.
Yeah. I did like Abadai State's son in this.
Yeah, I did as well. Yeah, he was a good character.
Ezekiel, right?
Yeah. Or Joe McGillicuddy.
Yeah. Not Mr. Perfect's son.
No, not that one.
Oh no, that's Michael. That's Michael.
Mike McGillicuddy. Yeah, wait. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. It's because his real name's Joe, though, isn't it? That's why we thought. Yeah.
Joe Henning. That's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that they put him in it, and I like that how they wrote it, the cover-up story.
Yeah.
Where he died helping Iron Man or whatever it was.
Yeah, right? He died in a plane crash or something, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. These sort of things happen, and I know they wrapped up the story like from 2008.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
Yeah.
And then, but they cheaped out a little bit in the sense that they were like, all right, well, how do we upgrade it? Like, what do we do to upgrade him?
Yeah.
Right. And I don't mind that they did the you see all the machines coming towards him and stuff like that, and then they cut, right? And that's budget things. Yeah. I accept that, right? And then the mystery of what happened to him, right?
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden he's like all these cybernetic parts, and you're like, no, it isn't all of a sudden. It's just like, okay.
Huh. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like, did it inside his skin? What did they just cut across his like bone structure and insert the stuff? Like, what exactly?
What exactly did it do? Yeah.
You don't need to show me what he did, but if you explain to me, this is what happened, then stuff starts making sense because then he's got glowing stuff inside his arm.
Yeah. Yeah, but I didn't like whenever he uses powers, you kind of like sort like the enhancements would like show up and stuff like that. I thought that's a cool little neat thing to put on a TV show. Yeah. And what else? Yes, the crew was pretty cool. I liked her friend who was the AI. That was pretty.
I was just gonna say one thing before we jump into that. About the group, right?
And
when they're all hunting her down, and she's like, "Let me throw some logic at you, right?"
Yeah.
He's killed your other friend that I replaced.
Yeah.
So what makes you think he won't? And then he sent you guys to kill me.
Yeah.
So what makes you think that he won't kill you at some point?
Yeah.
Right? And the bomb girl's like,
wait.
yeah. I mean, it's like, well, I'm gonna have to kill you anyways, but you know what?
Yeah. Oh.
There's something to this.
You're making sense. Yeah.
It's like when the Joker started in Dark Knight, where he's murdering all the bank robbers. I mean, they're murdering each other, yeah. And then one of them clocks on. Wait a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, that's a cool way. And I like after that, how she put 2 and 2 together. It's like,
because she got one of the people to hack into the database to check how one of the guys got killed.
Yeah.
And then the Hood being the hood, being one of those type of guys, like, yeah, well, you guys can't quit. I fire all of you.
Even though we just said we're quitting, but alright, sure.
Yeah. No, that it's just like, well, yeah, but we're quitting because you're gonna try and murder us.
Yeah. So
yeah, what is your logic?
Oh, he's logic out the window after that.
Yeah.
Entity starts taking over him. Yeah.
Yeah, or it'd be neat is if not that he got so powerful, whatever, but it's power boosted. He's fighting Ironheart, and then the other crew members come back and help her, or something like that.
Yeah, because I thought it was kind of happened, but then I was like,
just disappear afterwards. There's no conclusion to them,
Which I kind of, it's gonna sound weird. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if it's that weird power friendship stuff, like okay.
No.
I know what you mean, but
okay. Let's just say they didn't do anything, and then in the end credits, they're like, there's something with them in the end credits, like, oh yeah, there's gonna be a wrap up to their story later on. Yeah, that's fine, I
kind of feel like if there is a continuation to this, they will appear again. Yeah, because of like how it ends and stuff. Which when we get to that, it's like, wow, didn't expect that.
You were talking about, by the way, the AI.
Natalie.
AI
yeah. That was you know what? I actually did not see that part coming, even though it's like in the first episode. I was like, oh, okay, huh, and I was very intrigued, like how her friend died and stuff. And then when it happened, when she shows it, like, oh, that's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Literally, just like random gunfire.
Yeah. Well, they are in a shady area of town.
So it's like, wow, your life changed just like that. And then when the AI came alive, she goes, yeah, all I remember is your stepdad saying get down, then that's it. You're like, oh, she don't even know she's dead. That's awkward.
And it kind of made more sense. Her AI was her friend.
Yeah.
And then the other guy who was her friend is like later on in the episode, right? When she so when her mum sees it, and the mom's like, Riri's mum's like, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I don't see why not. But when her friend sees it, he's like, how could you? First of all, right, it's because Natalie flew over the suit to the guy, right?
Yeah, kidnapped him.
And then forced him in the suit.
I didn't like his reaction to that when he got out. I was like, oh, what? I was like,
and then just projected herself out afterwards as well with no warning. But
like, I get his point, but then how he handled it was really like, it's a real reaction how you handled it. But it's like,
well, no, there is a believability to it.
Yeah.
But I think that's more of what we would do in a TV show to cause conflict.
Yeah.
Show / movies / some sort of media. To cause conflict with the characters.
Yeah.
Rather than them be like,
talk it out.
Let me give you a pause. That is messed up, right?
Yeah.
That is messed up. But we'll deal with that later.
Yeah.
Your problem right now is what?
Yeah.
Because we need to chat about
that. Yeah.
yeah. But
there's bigger fish to fry right now.
There's a reason you brought me here, and there's more urgent matters.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh, that's messed up, man. How could you, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, hey, man, look, she became sentient by herself.
Yeah.
Hold on a second,
it's not like she purposely did this. Like, and it would be weird, like, I don't know, like, she's like, you should have told me first, like, but how do you tell someone? You know what I mean? It's like,
first of all, she didn't know herself.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's like, how do you deprogram it? Like,
yeah.
Then it's like, well, if you're reacting like this,
you're
trying to prove me right.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, I'm just saying circumstantially, sometimes things are like, however, at some point she would have had to deal with it.
Yeah.
So she couldn't have been hiding it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, the mum dealt with it in a really good way. So
yeah. So you would think she might have thought, okay, he would deal with it. He will take it the same way.
Yeah,
but
But actually, to be fair, she didn't even get to tell him. So I'm sure if she did,
might have been,
she would have worked out a way to do it.
Yeah. And I did also like in this show how they kind of pull her up on that. You just, instead of dealing with things, you just run away. And I like how they will pull her up on that. Like, some things they wouldn't bother. The person will come to like a natural conclusion. Oh, maybe I should blah blah blah. I liked how people were like, no, dude, stop. You have problems. We need to sort out. Like, you just keep saying you're fine, not gonna get anywhere. We need to talk about your feelings.
She got rid of Gon from MIT, and then she's like, well, I made that suit with my money, so laters. Jump into it, fly away.
Yeah.
Run away from problems there. Because they're like, you could actually do stuff, right?
Yeah.
But you're kind of doing something else.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah.
Sort yourself out. And she's like, well,
no. Run to the next problem. Yeah. It's that sort of. And I like that.
And then she needed her money or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then the Hood's people, like, they've seen her fly as in her iron suit. And then when they try to, they use a guy.
Yeah.
To help her, to get her into the group. And they booby trap the elevator.
Yeah.
With the gas mask thing. And she's like, sod this, right? And she just kind of jailbreaks it and comes out and says, you know what? If this is an audition.
Yeah, I'm gone.
Laters.
Yeah.
yeah. And they're like, no, you pass, you stay. You know, you need money anyways, right? Okay, jump from one problem to another problem.
Yeah.
And then the guy who she replaced got.
Yeah.
So becomes a problem later on.
Yeah.
When the police come to her door and ask her mum.
Yeah. And then just instead of telling her mum what's going on, I can't talk about this, mum, I'll tell you later. And then again, jump to the next problem.
Yeah. And so when she finds Zuko staying black market stuff.
Yeah.
All right. But I need your help because I need to make my iron suit.
Yeah.
All right. And then more problems for him when he gets they trace it all stuff back to him.
Yeah.
And then he had to then the Hood helps him get out of jail, but for specific reasons.
Yeah.
And then you're like, all right, to replace Riri because he's like she's a bit of a double crosser. That one.
So it's like, wow. And it's like all of her problems are like realistic problems. Not like realistic. Like, obviously, we don't like fight demonic entities with like
no.
case. But I mean, like it's things that people do. Like instead of like solving one issue, like I'm gonna jump to this issue. And so I was like, okay, that's kind of realistic.
And the Hood's issue as well. It's just like it's like, oh yeah, we get money because we deserve it, right?
Yeah.
And then you find out at the last episode, he's the son of some CEO, whatever,
billionaire, whatever.
We robbed that guy because we want his stuff. Yeah. Actually, it's my stuff. You know.
Yeah.
I'm his son. He disowned me or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I threaten him with the power of my Hood. To sign over everything to me. But it's like I'm like that is not gonna hold up in court because he's signing it under duress.
Yeah.
All right, you know.
He's such, and even his like backstory. I was like, oh, I get it.
I was just gonna say the other thing is like literally though.
Yeah.
It may be signed under duress, but that CEO guy he can't chase up on it. Like, well, look, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
If you try to cross me, so you could just. You can get out alive, or you can be dead.
Yeah.
But if you contest this, well, you know.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, because even his motivations made sense. Like we said, we're jumping from bit to bit. Like it's not actually a proper like in-depth review, whatever. But like when you found out, oh wow, his dad's got rid of him because he didn't want a kid. And then he's doing all this so he could be seen by his dad, like get the approval and fear of his dad. Like, oh yeah, that does okay. You're really messed up. You sold your soul to get to this point.
Well, no, he didn't know what he sold. All he knows that Mephisto said to him.
Oh, what do you mean? Do Mama?
Yeah.
I like that sort of swerve as well, but yeah.
But we'll explain that more in a minute, right?
Yeah.
But Mephisto's like, oh, you ain't gonna miss that. It's cool. It's all cool.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, okay, fine.
Sure.
And then you're like, well, we know what exactly he is.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy. He ain't gonna miss it anyways.
Yeah.
So, yes. Leading up to what you just said, so you punchline, right? Oh, actually, no, I jumped ahead of the punchline.
Yeah.
But like we were saying before, there was some magic usage, the Hood's magic Hood.
Yeah.
And Riri's got tech and, be something cool to see, tech versus magic.
Yeah.
And they explain how what's like the Dread Dormammu blah 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 magical abilities. They need to show like Riri's got some part of the Hood.
Yeah.
And she's trying to work out exactly what she needs to do to overcome the abilities.
Yeah.
And then she goes to a magic user in the city.
Yeah.
Where they're selling
sweet
new age magic stuff,
yeah.
kind of.
New Age magic stuff, like pick and mix sweets and books, is like, okay,
yeah. It's like they pretend they fake do it, but they actually do it for real.
Yeah, which I like that bit. Like, that's a cool sort of.
Yeah, and then the one of, like, the girl's mum used to be she was a witch. She used to practice in camouflage, and I was like, okay, well, I'm sure we saw millions.
Yeah.
Well, no, so quite a lot of soldiers, wizards, and sorceresses and sorcerers, whatever, in the battle of Endgame. So she could have been one of them people.
Yeah, it could be one
of
them.
A lot of people practice magic there. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. You kind of just start linking things together. It's okay.
Yeah.
And then she's telling the story of the Dread Dormammu and stuff like that, right?
And I like how they go, don't you know about Doctor Strange? And I'm like, what? I like how they kind of like tied into the first Doctor Strange movie with Miles Mickelsen's character and stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. And so when Barashash and Cohen is walking around and speaking to the Hood, and it's alluding to a certain thing, right?
Yeah.
But then you're like, who is he? And then when Riri deals with the Hood, and then she's facing him down, and he's like, you want to make there's a certain deal I want to make with you, Riri Williams, yeah?
Yeah.
And then she's like, nah, Dormammu.
Yeah.
And he's like, Dormammu?
Please.
What?
Dormammu, he can't even tie my shoelace, Well, I didn't say that, but it sounds like they're like, huh, okay. Where is this going then?
Funny you say that as well, when the Hood called him out on his accent disappearing.
Yeah, that was funny as well. Where did you get an accent all of a sudden? I've always had an accent. Or you just weren't paying attention. Like, either one makes sense to me. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's funny as well, because when the Hood is running, like, they invaded his dad's mansion, his friend or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when he was running into the tunnels to get away, and the police had their dogs, and then the man in the shadows is walking around with the Hood, and he's like, yeah, quickly jump. I can take you. I can get you away, or the police come after you. It's up to you, right?
Yeah.
And then bam, they're in the cafe.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, did they use? That's more of the stuff, like, because when the Hood was using the Hood.
Yeah.
And he disappeared, and I thought, oh, Cloak and Dagger stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Sacha Baron Cohen, he takes off the Hood and says, they make a deal. Oh, this is yours. Your Hood now.
Yeah.
Liz,
To lose. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And then when the Hood started going a bit overboard, and you got the veins coming across his face, the dark magic stuff.
Yeah. And then I was like, that's why when they said the Dormammu stuff, I was like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense, because when the Dormammu's followers in Doctor Strange, when they use their powers and stuff, they start getting that black stuff around their eye. So I was like, that kind of is related to that. Like, And then the twist came. But that was pretty.
Yeah. You said, okay, you watched it all in one go, right?
Yeah.
So I watched it in two parts. Like the first, strangely enough, this series got released 3 episodes.
Yeah, 3 episodes. Yeah.
And then 3 episodes after that.
Yeah.
But I think it's because you got Fantastic Four coming out soon.
Yeah, that's probably
trying to get ahead of that.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Makes more sense now. Yeah.
But episode 3. Yeah. So when they did the clip, when they did the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
That's when she accidentally, but kind of on purpose. Look, she was gonna get done by the Hood's cousin.
Yeah.
Is his cousin, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's trying to investigate the Hood. So she left Natalie in control of the Ironheart armor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And and then the Hood's cousin finds her in the whatever place the booby trap place that I want to say it looks like a weed farm, but
yeah, it's like it was like a some sort of greenhouse, but it was weird. Yeah. Perfect greenhouse.
So, everyone's getting like it's been a sabotage or whatever, like it is, and and then she had to fight him in there, but kind of not, because she hadn't got armor, and then the Natalie just kind of like, well, all right, I'm gonna take over and I'm gonna get you out of there, but we're gonna get out of here.
Yeah. ... Yeah.
And then the door's closed as the other guy is trying to get out.
Yeah.
So technically, he did a Christian Bale Batman, but
not really, she was in control of it. But I don't have to save you. Yeah. Which I don't see her doing anything wrong here, Because he was gonna kill her.
It's one of those situations where she might have been. I mean, she could have saved him.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're in a panic state and stuff, you're gonna make a decision based on your survival and not someone else's at that point, because you have to. You're gonna try and make sure you get out. You know?
Yeah, of course.
And the armor's only got space for one person, so you could just go back there and blast it. But when the hood told her to go back and check it, and check, she could have tried to save him. Right? But at that point, it's just like, well, if she does save him, she's going to get murdered. And she just got choked out as well. She got beat up by the guy. The gas in the chambers and stuff like that. So it wasn't. She wasn't in the best state to make a decision.
No, it's like fight or flight, literally. Yeah, it was that sort of situation.
And she did. She wanted to get out of there.
Well, so you can't really blame her. No.
And at the point, I think when she come back as well, that his life was quite low. To begin with. So and then the hood is like, oh, she did it. Because of the visions that he could see.
Which was another little cool thing. Like, oh, okay, his descent into
madness. But she had a little mental breakdown at the end of episode 3, and then because you watched it and you jumped right to episode 4, but it was like, okay, you know what? This is a decent place to leave the cliffhanger, because it's like, what is going on? Like, not what's going on with this girl, but that's a situation, isn't it? That's a situation.
Best way to put it.
I didn't see when they had to rebuild the Ironheart armor. Out of the car. By the way, okay, so I'm sure you've seen pictures of Ironheart before, so you knew the color scheme, right? So when that car popped up before, I was like, I didn't know they were going to cannibalize it, but I thought maybe she'll take the color scheme off it.
Yes, what I thought. Like, kind of like in Iron Man 1 when he goes, do cherry, whatever the color red. I thought it was that sort of red. I thought it was gonna be like that. But then the cannibalizer, like okay, that kind of makes more sense in a way, because then it means more to her. Yeah.
I did like, by the way, the credits. How they randomly have the Ironheart in the graffiti, or is on the box of the chicken and chips and stuff like that.
I like that. That's quite creative.
Village and stuff like that. So I think I got the thing at the end, right, where she was trying to fix the car or anything when she's a little kid, and then her dad's like, "You need to take a break. I'll let you continue after you take a break," and she do a little dance or whatever, like, as in, have a little fun, chill out a little bit, not do a little dance like she's like a punk, or anything like that. And then she's like, "All right, I have a little bit, little tumble, falls backwards, and the little signage at the top of her head, and it says Ironheart, right? I mean Ironhead, Ironhead, right? And I was like, okay, how do we get from
Ironheart to Ironhead?
Well, no, Ironhead to Ironheart, the other one, right? And I thought he was going to pick it up and go, oh, something like, not cliche, but because it's a piece of metal that hit her head, and he was like, oh, Ironheart, Ironhead, right? And that's how we move on to that. It's just like, oh, you got to be strong and stuff like that. But no, I was like, okay, why is this called Ironheart then?
Because they never actually call it Ironheart, and it's like, oh, do they?
No. Okay. No, why is the entire series called Ironheart? It's like, unless I missed it somewhere, but I don't think.
No, you didn't. I'm thinking there's no
Other
thing.
than the comic being the comic, I was like,
huh? Never thought about that.
Yeah. Okay. But they had the perfect lead to it, and they just didn't do it.
Because I thought that's you just said that's gonna happen, but no, they just like kind of carry on. You're like, oh, okay, sure. And and like we said, the reason, and I like how she can't explain why she makes a suit. She goes, because her stepdad loved like Tony Stark, so that's why she makes a suit. I was like, okay, there's another connection there. Her dad was a super fan of Tony Stark, and that's sort of her way into that. Even though it doesn't make them two connected, but it's gives a reason to why she would randomly make a suit. Rather than I've made a gun. I don't know. I mean, something.
I will say as well. I don't know how much of the comic lore that you know. I don't know much.
Anyways, I know bits and bobs. Yeah.
Is her friend actually called Natalie?
That one I'm not too sure because I was thinking myself was like because I read the first like couple of arcs of Iron Man when she was Iron Man by Michael Bryan Bendis.
Brian Michael Bendis.
Yeah, that's the one. But I don't know if I think she might be just a made-up character.
I only asked, by the way, because Natalie is the niece of Steel, right?
Yeah.
And they got mech suits as well. So I was like, okay, might be a bit. It's one of those things where it's like, you got Carol Danvers, you got Cara Danvers.
Yeah.
Supergirl and Captain Marvel. And you're
Marvel,
like,
yeah.
That's a bit too close, you know? Even though that's the name of their actual characters, you just be like, you know.
Oh yeah, no, she did. Yeah, her friend actually was called Natalie. I had to make sure. Yeah, I just googled
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, I like that. I think there's something else I really liked. I did like we already mentioned. I like the random switch from like, oh yeah, this is a magic shop. You're like, wait, what? Okay, what?
Yeah.
I like that.
I did also like at the end. So it's ambiguous.
Yeah.
Whether Riri took Mephisto up on his offer of
giving her what she wants. Yeah.
Natalie AI.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they're trying to involve. So they used magic against magic because they used power. This I didn't think they needed to do, by the way.
Yeah.
But I guess they needed to do. They did it because the magic was counterintuitive to the AI or whatever.
Yeah.
They didn't need to get to that point to the Mephisto point. Right?
Yeah.
It'd been cool for me if they just used straight up technology versus magic, but
they
were like, well, we're gonna get it fueled by magic because we know it's in this pit of energy. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, and then the Mephisto's like, yo, Riri Williams, yep, I can make a deal with you for a specific thing, and you won't be bothered with the consequence.
Yeah, you won't miss.
Or, your end of the deal. You won't miss it. You won't miss it at all. Like, all right. Well,
right.
Okay.
Interesting.
But you don't know. Like, she gets the Natalie AI working again.
Yeah.
You don't know if that's how.
Yeah, because how they did it, how they kind of portrayed it, like he's given her a projection of what she can have, but then he's kind of like, oh, maybe it's in the future. Yeah.
It's intercut with the conversation they're having at the time. So don't know if it's she's done the deal.
Yeah.
What she could have the deal, or does this take place a bit later on?
Yeah. And then she thinks she's got it back. She's got Natalie back, and then she touches Natalie's like, wait, what am I doing here? It's like, what do you mean what are you doing here? And then she goes to touch her, like, everyone in one running gags is a lot of people when they first see her try and touch her because they think she's real, but it's AI, so you kind of go through her or whatever. And then she goes to do that, and then Natalie just palms her on the head and goes, why are you getting so close? And you're like, oh, interesting.
Unless we're going to say it's AI hard light projection.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that happens.
Yeah. Whenever it's convenient in the comics, yeah. And then,
yeah.
And then she gives her a hug, and then you start seeing like the cantankerous veins sort of go through. Like, oh, did she give the deal? But then we don't know if this is a projection. Like, yeah. So I kind of like that.
Where exactly are we?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. And then the after credits as well, where the Hood actually comes to the magic shop that he somehow knows.
Yeah. Well, he knows people.
But if he knew it all this time, why didn't he go there in the first? Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. But then he tries to be a bit more charming, and then he's like, you know what? You show me the magic.
Yeah. You're like, he's trying to get his head back. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, fine.
Oh, okay. He's
he's subtly threatened, but not really
Yeah.
at that point. The way he starts, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm looking for some," And then it's just like
he's really charming, but then when you get them, like, this guy's a psychopath. Well, not a psychopath, but like, he's fallen into a dark hole of madness. Like, super calm. Now he's like we shout at people and looking at nothing. Yeah. Well, And we didn't talk about their fight.
Go on.
I was saying, we didn't really talk about their fight either, Riri and the Hood's fight.
Yeah.
Which.
But wait, should we cover the rest of the fight? I know we skipped for it, but
yeah,
when she's fighting the head, then she's got to fight Zeke afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, that Zeke fight was good.
It was upgrades, and then he's just like tearing her armor apart, and then she's like, "Oh, come on, man. You know, I helped you like before. Please, like this is necessary and stuff like that."
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, "Oh, just get out of here."
Yeah.
Right. And we won't speak about this no more, right?
Yeah.
And I'll just take this over to the Hood, and I'll say you're dead.
Yeah.
Just go. And then you see Bomb Girl looking at him from over there, yeah?
Yeah. Like...
And then I'm like, all right, well, this is all going to fall apart at some point.
Yeah. And I like how it kind of didn't.
Yeah, because he fired everyone before.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't say anything, right?
Yeah.
But Zeke's not a great storyteller. So
no.
when Hood asked what happened, right, and give me the embellishment, give me the details, and I just walked over to her and I killed her.
Yeah.
And then that's that.
Yeah.
Buried in rubble. And then Bomb Girl's like, nah, man, you got to tell some more flair.
Yeah.
Man. You got to tell everything that happens, man.
Yeah.
I saw it with my own eyes. What he did is he grabbed her pieces of armor, just yanked her, this bit here, yanked that bit there, tore off her helmet, threw her into the wall, like, you know, pummeled her, tore off her head.
Yeah.
Here's the helmet, you know?
Yeah.
And Hood like, yeah.
That's how you tell a story. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
Oh, but I like Zeke's face. Whole thing's like, oh no, he's gonna find out. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. Yeah. He kept me that weird look, like, you want to snitch me out, ain't you? And she's like, no, we're all in this together. And then that's when she mentioned the thing about Rampage, the other guy who was the tech guy, how he died. Like, nah, you know, he just died. Like, we all know he don't do drugs, so you obviously killed him.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, see, yeah, put up his logic. Yeah, all right.
But you were saying the fight with Riri and Hood.
Yeah. Before that, I did like, you know, when it's a flashback when they first tried to rob the Hood's dad's house, and they shot that guard and then ran away. I did like how when the Hood and Zeke went back to the mansion 15 years later, whatever it is, right? And it's that same guard there, and he shoots him. He goes like, "Nice to see you." Like,
yeah. And at this point, Hood's in control of Zeke because he's like, "Well, you followed my instructions, and it's only because I can't trust none of these people, anyways, right?"
Yeah.
Because they can't trust me because I'm not trustworthy.
Yeah.
Right? So I will make sure. Like after he took over the mansion, he's telling Zeke to eat, right?
Yeah.
And Zeke's like, "I'm not particularly hungry. Don't have much appetite when you know, be
when you're like a slave, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's like, Hood's like, eat, and then Zeke's like,
yeah. And then he tries to stab him, and he uses actually his magic powers to stop him getting stabbed. Yeah.
That makes him stab himself, right?
Yeah. And then I didn't like that whole thing where Zeke was like not in control because he's not a bad guy. No. And then Riri gets her suit, and they fly to the mansion of the fight, right? No, not the mansion. It's the old hideout where they have that fight.
Yeah.
And then she got to fight Zeke there, and he goes, I can tell you're being manipulated because you've got like some voice, something to do with the voice chip in him or whatever. And then they're fighting, and they're kind of having this deep conversation like, I can help you out, but I'm going to have to do this. And I'm pretty sure like your nether regions is not being upgraded.
Because you don't want to miss your man part, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure most of you are cybernetic, and he's like, yeah,
we'll find out.
I'm going to put you in there, right?
Yeah.
To get you to reboot. So I can stick something in the back of your neck and reboot you. And he's like, yeah, you got to, I ain't going to like it.
Yeah.
But, go ahead.
So then they have a bit more fight, and then she does it, and he goes like, "Yep, they didn't change that. Yep, okay." And he's just like in like pain. So then she did the reboot and stuff, and then she's like, "Are we cool now?" He's like, "We're not cool, but we're not bad and we're not good. I just don't want to. Yeah. We'll cross that bridge later on because you know I went in prison because of you." Yeah. And then now I'm in this situation because of you. And she's like, I get that. I like that as well. She realized she messed up.
Well, but she wouldn't be in this situation if it wasn't for other things. So.
Yeah. So it's like she didn't go out her way to make him get like for him to be where he is. It was like an accident.
No, but like when you look at it, it's all the hood has had his fingers. The hood and his group had the fingers in it.
Yeah.
And then some of the other group members, you can say they blame certain things in it, but they're like, we finished acting in our episodes.
Yeah. So you two, you like Riri and Zeke are like collateral damage. Yeah, it's like they got both dragged into. It's not really not because they wanted to, and then they got to deal with whatever happened next. Yeah, which I like that. So he could be a good guy later. He could be a bad guy. Who knows? Yeah. So they have the fight. Hood and Riri. That's pretty cool. Where he uses his like bullets that he can like guide, which is that's one of the Hood's powers, isn't it?
Everything wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the
Yeah. The curved bullet.
Yeah. But at least this curved bullet makes sense.
Yeah.
Because he has magic powers. Yeah. So they're fighting, and then he starts turning more demon. She's like, "Oh, dude, you've gone too far." And he's like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
Like he looked like a more CGI'd, better version of Morbius.
It's Hood time.
Yeah, Hood time.
Even though that doesn't make sense.
Which I'll probably see that again rather than I'll see Morbius. But anyways, and then he thinks he's got the upper hand on her, so because he's like ripping out bits of the armor, what he thinks he is, and then she does an explosion, and then they go flying. Well, he doesn't go flying. She's on the floor like crawling, her armor's all in bits, right? And he's like, "Yeah, Riri, I knew trouble from the moment, but now I'm getting to kill you." Then he goes to shoot her. He shoots her, but because we see from him looking down, so we see like him, nothing in front of him. He shoots, and then he looks like what? And then you see Riri still there, and she said, "Look, it's hologram." And then she comes from behind, and rips off his hood, and he's like, "Ah, I'm melting." And he's like, "Give it back, I need it. It's so cold." He's like, "Nah, dude. Look what's wrong with you. You're not getting this way." He's like, "But I need it." And then he rolls up in a ball. He's like, "Oh wow, this is." He hasn't got his greasy power anymore. Like he says, he must be greasy rich. Yeah. So then the battle's over. Well, we think it is. And then she walks to the elevator. And then that's when the whole she sees Sacha Baron Cohen eating pizza. Is that pizza? He's eating something, and he goes, "Do you want some?" She's like, "I'm always hungry, so yes." And then that's when they have the little conversation. Which, yeah.
And I thought, okay, it's a tech-based world, and you're having magic in it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. This is a way to kind of cross that bridge.
Yeah.
But Mephisto's a bit of a very high-class demon.
Like even Dormammu is a bit of a high class. When they start bringing him, like, okay.
Yeah. Baron Mordo, right? I'm not saying I know he's in the or am I mixing up? Who Brother Voodoo?
Yeah.
He's in Marvel, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was Brother Voodoo.
Yeah. Then
even though that's a whole other thing with his name, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Druid, even if you want to see Doctor.
But for the heavy hitters like Mephisto and Dormammu, like, oh wow, okay, we're bringing this into it. Okay, cool. Yeah.
I don't think, by the way, in the comics, Dormammu is that much of it as much as they did in the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, because I don't think he's nowhere like hierarchy of like demon things. Mephisto's above him, obviously, because Mephisto's like the devil in it, or a devil.
Well, one of the many
devils in comic books.
They needed someone like the equivalent of DC Dr. Faust.
Yeah.
Where he can make these deals and he can make himself a bit of a high level threat.
Yeah, but he's
at a certain tier.
Yeah. Not like God tier sort of thing. Yeah.
It's like a bit too much of a jump from.
Yeah.
How you gonna fight this guy?
Yeah.
Doctor Strange can fight this guy, maybe, right?
Yeah.
But
So it's like, oh, okay. Huh. Give her the devil. Okay.
Yeah, and then who are your connections to help you? Like,
yeah.
If it was a Scarlet Witch TV series.
Yeah.
And then Mephisto was in it.
Yeah. But I think they sort of brought him into it so they could sort of start setting up more of like that, the whole magical demon stuff in the MCU. So I was like, okay, it's a random place to bring it in here, but okay.
Yeah.
I liked how he portrayed him. Yeah, I was like,
so then maybe the rest of the next phase will integrate it somehow.
Yeah,
and make it make sense.
Yeah. So I was like, oh,
okay. We'll have to see about that. If he was in the Loki TV series, I'd probably be a bit more.
Okay. I'll be more confused because then like Loki's sort of like with time and stuff like that.
Oh no, I'm just saying if the character not necessarily. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Not if he wasn't if Loki wasn't in the TVA, right?
Yeah.
And there was a Loki TV series based on the magic.
Yeah. Because even if he was mentioned in like Scarlet Witch, or even slightly mentioned in Agatha All Along, like, okay, yeah, because it's magic, innit? Yeah. So, but yeah, I like that sort of kind of bringing the magic into like other things as well. So like, okay, I get
Are you expecting Mephisto to make an appearance in Spider-Man Brand New Day?
Maybe, but then I don't know.
Oh, do you think they're gonna make him into one of the universe defining big bads or whatever?
Maybe, because then that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if you brought him into Spider-Man, he hasn't done enough for them to like do the whole deal thing.
No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, but I was thinking about it now. I was like, okay, could be a thing. But hey.
Yeah. Speaking of that, randomly speaking, right?
Yeah.
When they conclude Spider-Man, do you think they're gonna have? So you reckon the next Spider-Man character will be Miles Morales? Because it probably make the most sense. Right?
Yeah,
unless Spider-Man then has a kid.
Yeah.
And then we get maybe Parker.
Yeah, maybe that.
But then
that's too much of a jump.
You could do Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and then by the time that Mayday grows up, then
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So you got what 3, 5, the next phase.
Next 10? Like 5 phases. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Huh. Because obviously, within those like phases, there's gonna be a time jump. So yeah. Oh yeah, man. Interesting.
Yeah. But I enjoyed the series for what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't too significant in like okay, you could miss it, but then again, you could miss some of the movies in the MCU as well because they're not like something. You could have missed Captain America and it wouldn't be mattered.
Yeah.
You could have missed the Thunderbolts. Well, no, kind of. I think towards the end of the Thunderbolts, it does actually matter.
Yeah. I think that's the one maybe you kind of do need to see. Yeah, Captain America, it's on the fence. Guardians Galaxy 3, yeah, I guess.
Deadpool and Wolverine, kind of, but not really. That depends on how the rest of the phase ties up when you start Doomsday, you know?
Yeah. But
Fantastic Four, obviously, it seems like that's going to be heading in the direction of Doomsday, even though they say Doctor Doom's not in it, But
I think Fantastic Four was the start of phase 6 then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're like they say Doctor Doom's not in it, right? But I think maybe Doctor Doom end credits or anything. Did they do that? Have our boy the Maker in the end credits, the lead up to Doctor Doom, and I want to say his henchmen, but at least there's Doctor Doom and there's the people on the side that are with his as part of his. But they can't just really be fighting Tony Stark by himself, inverted Tony Stark. Von Doom Tony Stark.
But I think the Maker's too soon.
Well, that depends on how, because at least the Council of Kang, right? First of all, he's gonna wipe out all the Council of Kang.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like one Iron Doom dude fighting this whole bunch of people. No, surely he needs another group. Not a group, but he surely needs other people.
Yeah.
This
is when it's just like, in my opinion, this is when they should just recast Kang. But whatever. Yeah. But I don't know. Cause
they could have. I think they could have salvaged all of that.
Yeah, it could easily salvage just recast them, and then you can easily get around like, I can change my face. Okay.
I mean, it's a Kang from it's a variant Kang.
Yeah.
From another timeline that doesn't look like that.
Yeah, that's literally all you could have done.
5 years in the future, or 10 years in the 30 years in the future, where he realized this plan doesn't work, so he's gonna wipe out all his Kangs. Right?
Yeah, to start again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. They just done that.
And that way you can cast someone really way older, you know?
Yeah.
It'd been not Morgan Freeman.
No, that's.
I say Denzel Washington because I think we were saying about this before.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah. They could. I know they used Wesley Snipes already, but even then, you know.
Yeah, I'm saying there's so many other people who could. Yeah, just to get rid of him completely is kind of. I think that was like a knee-jerk reaction.
We're gonna start Doomsday. We're gonna start Doomsday with Doom holding up the bodies of a whole bunch of Kangs that he's murdered.
Yeah, but I still think that the whole thing is like a knee-jerk reaction rather than like
yeah.
Recast him. No, just get rid of the whole character.
Yeah, we'll see how that works.
Yeah. But yeah,
Fantastic Four coming soon, so we'll also see how everything else fits in there.
Yeah, quite interested in that. Yes. Especially with how it ended in Thunderbolt. I was like, okay, it's made me more interested.
Not to knock this series when we say, oh, you could have missed it, because you could have also missed Daredevil.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't impact anything
the
multiversal story either. So.
Yeah.
And there's quite a bit of stuff you could probably, because they don't have a through line.
Yeah.
As they did in the first couple of phases.
Yeah.
To get to Endgame.
Yeah.
Most things were related to each other somehow.
Yeah. It's like connection, something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got the like a movie spare that doesn't really relate to anything.
Yeah. Ant-Man 2.
But that's fine. I think they didn't have a lot of they were going to the Kang.
Yeah.
But they didn't have a lot of things related to Kang.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, we'll pivot again. And then so lots of things are kind of like don't really interlock.
Yeah.
You can miss a lot of stuff and be fine.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah.
Even though I enjoyed the series.
Yeah, same. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I enjoyed it because it was different as well. That's why I like hey, this is, you know.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the series before were sort of like established characters with a new sort of character or whatever. And she technically is a new character, like in both senses of the way. Like she had like a bit part in Black Panther, and then her comics, she only like came in the comics. It's gonna sound long, but it wasn't like 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So she's still relatively new.
Do you reckon it's too soon? It was actually too soon for an Ironheart adaptation?
Yes and no.
Do you reckon they should have made Armor Wars first?
I don't know, because of the whole secret invasion thing. I feel like actually I don't know, because I feel like you might need Ironheart for Armor Wars to happen.
Okay.
Like,
we'll see.
She can kind of be in it.
If they ever decide to actually put out Armor Wars,
yeah, different story. That's a different story completely. Yeah. Like Armor War has become like the TV version of Blade, where is it gonna come out? Who knows?
And then we get the character in something else before.
Yeah. Because apparently Blade's is back on schedule, but
oh really?
Yeah, apparently. But like, we'll wait and see.
What they say, but hey.
Yeah, exactly. Just wait and see. You know, I'm not holding my breath. Because didn't Blade turn up in Marvel What If? I think he's in like the recent season.
I need to watch season 2.
Yeah, apparently he's in one of them as I think the episode where he's Khonshu's avatar. Something like I don't know.
Wait. Are we talking about Wesley Snipes' Blade or Mahershala Ali?
Mahershala Ali's Blade.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You know.
But
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. I do actually need to check out the What If stuff.
Yeah. I only watched season 1, so I need to watch season 2 as well. So 2 and 3, yeah. But are there 4 seasons? I don't know.
I think season 3 is I haven't seen season 3. I've seen season 2. I think.
Yeah. Because I remember you told me about season 2. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But
we'll see.
Yeah. So that Review of Ironheart. Yeah. What? Yeah, there's nothing terrible about it. You can watch it. I think you can watch it in the sense that miss it. It doesn't affect anything in the story. That's what I was gonna say. Is it key something to watch? No, but it's entertaining.
It's entertaining. Yeah, it's enjoyable. Like I feel like it just got a weird rap for some reason. I don't understand it, but
people review bombers happen.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying whether it's personally some people deserve it or not deserve it or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I like the show, so
I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah. It went quickly. It went by quickly.
Yeah.
It was like when you compile the minutes to the in a row.
Yeah.
You probably get like a mini movie and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It did make use of the CGI when it had it, right?
Yeah.
But you know, there's stretches where it doesn't, which is good because
which is good. You didn't rely on it, so as another good thing, like okay, you didn't rely on CGI because like sometimes when things rely on CGI too much, you're like.
Yeah.
Kind of takes you
which
out
is
of
good for, like I say, a TV series because in a movie you have to try and be a bit more extravagant. And sometimes you get like a whole bunch of things because they got money to do it, rather than you could take a break and do a section that doesn't involve. You know, like people sitting down and talking. For example. You know, sometimes you want that to build the characters.
Yeah. You don't want like. Even I was about to say, I was going to use Transformers as an example, but then that kind of breaks its own thing there. Because, like.
Transformers?
I'm going to say the first. No. Alright, the first Transformers, I love that film. Alright, Michael Bay one.
You're talking about the animated film.
No, I love that as well. But the first Michael Bay one, I like that film. Right, I like it.
Alright.
But then. They go downhill after that. Because I'm about to say, they got all this money to do extravagant things. But then. 90% of it is just the humans doing human things, and then the Transformers have like blurry CGI fights and
yeah.
So I can't really use that as an example. Oh, Transformers. But so you need those story beats, like the conversation bits, to get a story going, because like not every film could be like 90 minutes of action, because then you're like. But what happened?
Yeah.
I can tell you the fight scenes, but why did these fight scenes happen? Yeah, it's that sort of... Yeah. No lead up. But yeah, man.
Well, unless you're watching a martial arts film where you're watching it for the action, and that's a different case.
Yeah, that's a different case. Yeah. Because like even John Wick, that has like, not non-stop action, but that has enough story to really like, okay, this is why this is happening, and blah, 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 blah. Rather than like, they killed his dog and that's literally it. But there's more to it. So yeah, I like that sort of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, so that's why I like Ironheart. Yeah, good. Yeah,
I will say, like you're saying about story, like Daredevil kind of like had less action than I was expecting.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy the story parts of it, the trial parts. And
stuff.
I think just somehow you need to mix it up in between there somewhere.
Yes.
Some of the more suspense stuff and more some of the story based stuff, because I think they pushed the first chunk of it was more story based, and then they had to course correct.
Yeah.
And then they did the action stuff there, but it wasn't a way you think it's a mix in the middle somewhere. You do this, you do that, and that leads to that and that.
Yeah.
We'll wait for him to get for the ages for him to get into the suit.
Yeah. And then he's in the suit for 2 minutes, and then like, yeah. But yeah, man, I would recommend this. It's like I would say. At the Marvel shows, for me, it's quite up. Like the shows so far they've had in Disney Plus stuff, it's quite high on the list for me. It was enjoyable. It did what it needed to do, and yeah.
As long as it's not a badly told story, and sometimes you know these things
that happens. Right? Yeah.
I'm all cool with it. You know.
Yeah.
It don't have to be great. No. But at least if it's fun, you know, if it's cool, if it's neat, if it's something different.
Yeah.
That's executed well, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
All for it. Like. Me rating stuff it's a weird way how I rate it, right? If I can watch something and it doesn't need for me to go onto my phone, then it's passed its test. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm watching something and then like 5 minutes in I got to look at my phone, then yeah. So that's how I kind of judge things, and it didn't make me do that. I didn't do that. So yeah. I'm an easy man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
All right. So that's us saying thumbs up for
Thumbs up.
Ironheart.
Ironheart. Hopefully in season 2 or whatever comes next, we find out why she's what. Which will hopefully hear it be called Ironheart rather than just.
Or yeah.
Miss Iron and random stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Bit like in at the end of Fantastic, right? Where they're like, oh, this whole voyage, the meme, right? This whole voyage is fantastic, and it's like, say that again.
Say it again.
And then they start using it for every single thing.
Yeah.
To take the piss.
Yeah, and then goes, "How I got an idea? How about?" And then ends.
Yeah.
Oh, hilarious.
But yes. So unless someone punched her in the heart, and then like with the wrestling heart punch, by the way.
Yeah.
When you put the arm around the back of their head, right?
Yeah.
And then she needs to create herself an iron lung or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And she becomes I don't know. I'm just
even know.
Out there for the jokes of it.
Like she might get strapped on her heart, and then they do that thing. And they're like, "You're Ironheart." You're like,
yeah.
Okay, that does make sense. Okay, shouldn't you call arc reactor heart? But okay, whatever. Sure.
Yeah. Now you're stepping on the toes of Iron Man. You are stepping on the toes of Iron Man now.
There, that's when she gets sued. By Tony Stark's daughter.
Like, but it doesn't make sense because he's not even made of iron, like he said in the at the end of the first movie.
Yeah. It's actually made out of the titanium, blah, 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 but okay, sure, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was us reviewing Ironheart. Let us know what you think of it. Also, would you be reading Ironheart comic? Well, she doesn't have a comic.
Does she have a comic anymore?
I don't know, because I know I read her in the X-Men crossover with Iron Man during the Fall of Krakoa saga, because she was in that, and her and Tony Stark had a good relationship. I don't know, I think she's on a team, but I think it's one of those teen teams. I can't be sure at the moment. I'll find it out. But yeah, read that if you find it. I don't know. Yeah, that's what you think of it. What your favorite parts was. What do you think? Do you think Riri took the offer from Mephisto, and what's going to happen next for her? Where will she turn up next? Yes, let us know.
Will she even make an appearance in Avengers Doomsday?
Maybe.
Maybe, like, you know what? I don't think I say most of the TV characters don't think because I don't think you'll see Daredevil in it.
Yeah, no. If anything, I think they might get mentioned like in.
Sorry.
I think they might get a mention in the next one. What's up? The one that's after Doomsday.
Secret War.
Yeah. I think I get mentioned.
I think the only thing we'll get an appearance of Daredevil in Doomsday is if Robert Downey Jr. is snapping the neck of Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck Daredevil. So
yeah, which
I'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, your man came back to make an appearance just to get killed, but that's the troll of it. So
yeah. And I'm like, good on you, Ben Affleck, for doing that. Yeah. 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 So let us know, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok, and give us a like and share it all on the YouTube. Our social media handles on the top of the screen if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're not, if you listen to this, you can find it down below in the description. And we'll be back very soon. Very, very soon. We've got like lots of stuff to review very soon.
Stuff coming up on the weekend.
Weekend, yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll survive. But yeah, so see you very soon. And thank you for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. Bye.